Welcome to day 213 of the New Way. I'll read Matthew 20, 1 through 7. For the kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out early in the morning to hire workers for his vineyard. He agreed to pay them a denarius for the day and sent them into his vineyard. About 9 in the morning, he went out and saw others standing in the marketplace doing nothing. He told them, "You also go and work in my vineyard, and I will pay you whatever is right." So they went. He went out again about noon, and about 3 in the afternoon, and did the same thing. About 5 in the afternoon, he went out and found still others standing around. He asked them, "Why have you been standing here all day long, doing nothing?" "Because no one has hired us," they answered. He said to them, "You also go and work in my vineyard." First, note that this is a parable, and its purpose was to explain something about the kingdom of heaven. The main character in the story is the vineyard owner, and he's hiring workers for his vineyard. He told the 6 a.m. or early in the morning people that he would pay them a denarius, which was a typical day's wage. He told the 9 a.m., third hour people that he would pay them what was right, but didn't specify an amount. We don't get any indication that he told the rest of the workers any specific amount of pay. He just asked them to go and work with an assumption that he would pay them. Now, quitting time was probably around 6 p.m. Listen to what happened at quitting time. I'll read Matthew 20, 8 through 12. When evening came, the owner of the vineyard said to his foreman, "Call the workers and pay them their wages, beginning with the last ones hired and going on to the first." The workers who were hired about 5 in the afternoon came, and each received a denarius. So when those came who were hired first, they expected to receive more. But each one of them also received a denarius. When they received it, they began to grumble against the landowner. "Those who were hired last worked only 1 hour," they said, "and you have made them equal to us who have borne the burden of the work and the heat of the day." Now you need to know that a denarius was a good wage for a whole day's work, and was the customary pay for it. Yet the landowner in this parable chose to pay everyone, from the 12-hour workers to the 1-hour workers, 1 denarius. Was that fair? The 12-hour workers certainly didn't think so. But listen to what Jesus taught in Matthew 20, 13 through 16. But he answered one of them, "I am not being unfair to you, friend. Didn't you agree to work for a denarius? Take your pay and go. I want to give the one who was hired last the same as I gave you. Don't I have the right to do what I want with my own money? Or are you envious because I am generous? So the last will be first, and the first will be last." Jesus said the landowner had a right to use his money any way he chose. How can you apply this to the kingdom of heaven? There will be many instances where you can apply this. Some missionaries risk their lives to spread the gospel. Some get no or little response even after 40 years on the job. Others do the same job in relatively easy places, and thousands come to know Jesus. Another application is in the way God distributes health to his followers. Some who serve him diligently are rewarded with good health into their 90s. Others who serve him equally diligently die young or encounter health difficulties. Another application is that some invite Jesus into their lives as a child and serve him all their lives. Others invite Jesus in on their deathbed, yet both are granted heaven as their reward. I'm sure you can think of other ways to apply these verses, but remember, God is not being unfair. He blesses those he desires to bless, and he's the boss. And he knows what is best for each one of us. In his service, Dale.